Pace makes the race. We've all heard it and it's true. But what does it mean? More importantly, how can it help you to be a sharper player? Pace points. That's how. When dealing with pace in horse racing, you have to understand it affects races at every level, class, and distance. Not always how we think it will, but the impact is still there just the same. Knowing who is likely to be running fastest at the start and who is likely to be finishing fastest nearing the finish, that last quarter mile is the most valuable wagering asset. Pace Points does this extremely accurately, utilizing fractional times of individual horses, post position, track condition, ground loss, and other intangibles like rider tendencies. Pace Points lets you know at a glance two key factors: who is likely to be fastest early and who is likely to be fastest late. We've all seen races where it looks like there's a ton of speed, and then one horse clears the field, often going wire to wire. How about the turf races that look like there is no speed? Somebody is going to set that pace. We know they will. We've seen it before. Have you ever had one of those head scratches where the pace is slow, even dawdling, and here comes a closer running past them all late? Pace points will help you navigate these pace scenarios and more. The races that show you one horse with 1-1-1 front running lines and a horse with 3-3-3 stalking running lines throughout the fractions of the race, and the horse with the threes that looks like the stalker is on the lead. Pace points will help you sharpen your game, recognize these things in advance, and recognize great setups. Pace does make the race, and pace points will help you understand the dynamics of the pace and the race. If you watch Past the Wire TV and read Past the Wire, you have heard me say the numbers don't lie. They don't. That is why Pace Point starts with the individual fractions of each horse and goes from there, where the best eyes, angles, and experience in the game factors in post, tripped, ground loss, jockey, and more. An invaluable tool for any arsenal. We'll put this crucial info at your fingertips in an easy to read, recognize, and more importantly, utilize fashion. I like to say simplicity is the essence of intelligence. And although Pace Points is on a pretty high level, we made it very easy to understand and easier to utilize. You're going to see a list of the horses in each race, two columns next to the horses. The first column is going to give you a number. The lower the number, the faster the horse is early. And by early, we mean primarily the first quarter of any given race. Second column is going to give you a number. The lower that number, the faster the horse is late, nearing the finish, and primarily the last quarter mile of any given race. So you'll be looking at a list of the horses in the race, two numbers, an early number and a late number, based on all the factors we discussed before. Pace points, easy to use, easy to understand, and the longer you use it, the better grasp you will have on pace, making the race, and how it's going to affect the outcome.
To learn more about Pace Points or to try it out, visit pastthewire.com or watch Past the Wire TV. We think you'll be glad you did.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby.
You're watching Past the Wire TV, the biggest races at the best tracks. From the Kentucky Derby to the Breeders' Cup. The best horse racing coverage is right here on Past the Wire TV.
Well, hello everyone. Here we are, closing weekend of Kentucky Downs. Can you believe that? Did you guys see the card on Saturday? Huge, huge races. $2 million races, many of them. I think there's like 6 of them. A couple of them are 2.5. It's just ridiculous. So, recap last week. I was on a mini vacation, but I sent out 2 shows. Didn't Didn't hit any pick fives, but you had some winners here scattered here and there. Some nice payoffs, some nice exactas. And that's the key with Kentucky Downs. You got to hit some races, especially some nice exactas, 10 times, 20 times. And then it really helps out on everything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to do a pick five on this big, big day of all these $2 million races plus. Extremely hard. Once again, Kentucky Downs has an excellent, excellent card that's so hard. So first, I want to thank Race Lens for all the tools they give us. Once again, all our sponsors, from Pleasant Acres. They have some great stallions, and there's another great stallion hitting Pleasant Acres this year, which we'll be talking about on our shows during breeding season, of course. So let's go diving into this. Remember, if you have any questions, shoot me an email right down here, Charles at Past the Wire. Any kind of questions about anything about Kentucky Downs, Keeneland, Churchill Downs, what trainers do, claiming. And remember, we got that syndication that we're working on. If you're interested in owning horses and pin hooking and owning, let us know. Shoot me an email and I'll tell you all about it. Until then, let's go. Let's hit these races. We're going to cover two, like always, extremely deep fields. So it's going to take us a little time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. I'm going to try to hit I'm going to call two middle ones really, but there really isn't two middle ones, but I'm going to hit the race 9 and 10. So that's what we're going to do. The number 1 horse, Chloe. This horse has got some speed. It's not run at Kentucky Downs. Kentucky Downs. So that's, I wish it did. It would fit at speed, to see what it could do. Remember, they're going 6.5 furlongs. They go up with the right turn uphill. Then they swing out wide on that left turn. And then, of course, that stretch, I think you've all seen it by now, what I mean. You get about halfway down that stretch, and all of a sudden, a little bit, just slightly uphill on the rest of that. And it's a lot of things happen down that stretch, right? So this horse has got tons of speed. You got to like that part with Santana aboard. You're going to get everything out of him on that part. Personally, I think this horse is going to be up against it. Early speed, then tired. Tires at 5.5. And with this course the way it is, I'm going to take a pass. It ain't 2. The number 2. This horse is cutting back from a mile, and I do like that type of angle when you're at Kentucky Downs. You cut back from a mile or even 7 furlongs to a 6.5 furlong race at Kentucky Downs. You get a little conditioning in you. This horse will have that tactical speed, but usually comes from behind most of the time. The horse showed speed last time. Why? I don't know. Maybe just found it's, herself on the lead, and that's the way she went. Personally, I think for this horse to have a shot in this race, she's going to have to sit close, probably like 3rd or 4th, real close, and junior aboard with Riley Mott as the trainer. They click at 20%, which ain't bad, and Riley gets 29% so far in the last 30 days, so he's doing well as a trainer, but for me, I'm going to take a pass. Classic Q. The 3. Look at this horse. Cutting back. Tries to go wire to wire, mile 16th, cutting back. I love this angle going to 6.5. Love it, love it, love it. A mile, and then you got a mile and an 1/8. This horse is totally conditioned to get this. All this horse has to do is sit close enough, I would say within 3 lengths of the leader, 4 lengths of the leader. And I think this horse could do some damage. Even though it has speed, I don't think it needs to have the lead. So if it does find itself on the lead, as long as they don't pressure him too hard, I still think he's going to be tough to beat. But I think they'll be a little smarter by just letting this horse relax, sit in the catbird seat, and see what happens there. You got Pratt aboard. You got to love that part. Casey is the trainer. And horse shipping into the track, wins at multiple circuits. Got to like that. Beaten favorite last time, jockey switch. Going from Jose to Pratt, you're not gaining anything. You're not losing anything, in my opinion. And And Pratt's been getting pretty hot here. He's only run here at Kentucky Downs since the meet opened 2 times, I think, 2 days. Doing pretty well. So this is, in my opinion, the horse to beat. Habitat, the number 4. This horse will be your closer, one of your closers. It's going to be flying a little bit at the end. My question is, how far back in the beginning of this race is this horse going to be? With Mark Casey and Dylan Davis, that's a nice little combo. You're going to get a nice little odds there at 12-1. Should be right around that at the end of the day. I see this horse, flying a little bit at the end. So if this horse is within 4 or 5 lengths, maybe even 6 lengths, coming around that turn for the stretch, this horse could be very dangerous. And I think this is a major player. The angle is 3rd race after a layoff, looking for improvement. They don't like it coming from behind, but at this track and the way it's setting up, I think this might be okay. So I think it's a major player, especially for your exotics. The 5 will not show up, and the 5 is from, let me see, let me double check here. Great Britain. It's from Great Britain. It's a Tabit Petit. And this horse, not much to go off of. You got Dettori riding this horse. Horse won last time at 7 furlongs. They're cutting back in distance. Of course, that was in July. So this horse could be reckoned with. I personally think this horse might do some damage on the bottom side of the exotics. So I think this horse will be coming from behind a little bit. What does it say here? Might even sit there close to the leader. Might even press the leader a little bit. So I would just sit back on the 5. I would play the 5 for the exotics on the bottom side. Now the 6, Jungle Peace from Ireland, another speed horse here. This horse is cutting back in distance from the last 2 times. Remember, look at when this horse runs at 6.5 furlongs, wins. Of course, that's at Santa Anita. Santa Anita is another unique turf course. They go down a hill and make a right turn, and they cross the dirt. So this might be a horse that might be reckoned with a little bit. But for me, I'm going to take a pass. Phil Tomato, you got to always bet him on the turf. He's great on turf as a trainer. Rosario's aboard, 12-1. I would demand every bit of that 12-1. The 7, Pondering. This horse will come from behind. He will sit close to the pace. But I think this horse will still come from behind a little bit. I don't think he'll sit too close. Once again, this is another one of those horses that might sit really close, maybe like 3rd, 4th, within 3 to 4 lengths. The horse really doesn't get the lead till, if any time, is till the mid-stretch. So that's how I see this horse running. Personally, I'm going to take a pass on this horse, even though Tyler Gaffleone and Brendan Walsh is teaming up for this. I like that part, but he's going to presser. He's a presser type of horse. So he'll be pressing the early leaders. The 8, she's a funky drummer. I wanted to say the wrong word in there instead of funky, but I didn't. Anyway, this horse is another one with kind of early style, but still doesn't probably have the speed to keep up with these others. So for me, I'm taking a seat back, and I'm going to pass on this horse today. Killowen, number 9, come from behind her. Last 2 times ran at 7 furlongs. Both times came from behind and closed really well. Does that mean anything here? Yeah, you betcha. That this horse loves to sit behind that pace, will be flying. Jose's aboard. He's hot at Kentucky Downs like Gaffleone is too, and even Pratt and Irad. But Jose is hot there. George Arnold is no stranger to the winner's circle, so look out for this horse. I think this horse will complete the exacta with the 3. But definitely I would not turn away from this horse too much. I wouldn't turn my back on him. The 10, she's so spicy. She's so spicy, yeah. Last time ran in England, didn't do well. at the Ascot. They took a shot there, I guess. The times before that, she's got a lot of speed. She goes to the front. This might be your leader overall. Irad's going to be aboard. I think you're going to get every bit of that 3-1. It might even become the favorite of the race. I think this horse is your leader throughout. The question is, can this horse hang on? Well, I personally think they still could hang on for the piece of the pie. So that's why I would put her on the bottom side of my exotics 100%. Italian Sori, the 11. Another horse that looks like it wants to come from behind a little bit, but really doesn't kick in, doesn't really do much of anything. I mean, it's always right there, doesn't really kick in at any given point. They put the blinkers on the last couple of 3 or 4 times. I would have thought that would have been the trick for this horse, but no. I don't know what to be the trick. Luis Saez is aboard, which will get a little bit more speed out of this horse for you. But for me, I'm going to take a major pass. Got a Brazil. I didn't get one before I went on my vacation, so I couldn't wear my thongs. But anyway, the 12 horse. This horse is another one that could sit pretty close to the pace. Kind of kicks it in, but the last 2 times really hasn't shown much there. So I'm going to take a pass. Ben Curtis is a great addition to this horse for this race, but I'm taking a pass. Me Governor. The 13 also eligible. But remember, we're going to really pay attention to also eligibles in all these races because they get in. Going 6.5. Last time this horse won at 5.5. Pretty much right there, led it all the way. Does have some speed. If this horse does draw in, he's going to have to go to the lead. Luis Saez will be aboard. I think Luis will choose this horse over the other one. And if he does, and he's on the outside, look for him to be competing against Irad, which I believe was the 10, which will be out in front. Number 14, Pop Idol. Another speed horse, but it's going to have to draw in. If he jumps in, Weaver has been sending him out lately, really nice. Velasquez is really clicking on all cylinders right now. Got to like all that. But she has to draw in, and if she does, she'll be going another one that'll be trying to go to the lead. So we got some speed in here, people. That's why I said the 3 does not need that lead. All she has to do is sit close enough. So, but for me, I think there's too much to do from that outside post. The 15, which is multiplication, another speed horse, but she's on the outside again, another one. So all these also eligible so far, if they get in, they got to go. And you might see that, but I don't see this one hanging around much, even if it did get in and does go. And then number 16, Harusha. That's what I'm going to say. Another horse. This one will come from behind. So coming from out that outside post, I don't know. I think I think she's up against it big time. She will be flying at the end. Rapoli brings this horse over. Had this horse in Canada running. might hit a piece of the pie a little bit, but it's going to have to come from behind. It's going to have to do a lot of work, in my opinion. So for me, I'm just going to take a major pass on her. So there we have it. Race number 9, big field once again. Like I said, it's going to be really tough. Watch these races. Go back and look at all this last week's races and everything. Remember, some of those big long shots that came in last week, a lot of them were first-time maidens. How do you predict this? You can't. I personally like to bet a maiden that it's had an outing at least once before going out on Kentucky Downs. There's so much going on at Kentucky Downs. Let's take one factor out. At least have a race under the belt. But some horses are just ready. Some horses love it. They just do whatever. You can't predict those. Let's see what Racelands, how they see how this race is going to pan out. Well, the beginning of the race, like we said, a bunch of them up there, 3, 1, 6, 7, 4, 14, 12, and 11. Definitely, we already said all those also eligibles are going to be flying if they get in. They're saying on the backside the 3 is going to have the lead. I personally don't think so. I think a couple of these others like 6, 7, 12, possibly even the 10 could be up there. But I think the 3 would definitely be really very, very close. And at the end, they have the 3 winning this race at 21%, 10 at 12, almost 13%, the 9 at 12, the 6 at 11, and the 7 at 9. I have it 3, 9, 4, 10. So let's check out the true odds. The 3 should be 7-2, 9-2. The 10, see, they got it at a morning line as 3-1. I still think that's going to be your it's going to be between the 10, 9, and 3 for the favorite, and I really think that the 10 and 9 are really going to battle it out for being the favorite. The 6 is supposed to be 8-1, is 12-1 morning line, not too bad. Like I said, the 3 is not too far off, 7-2 to 9-2. You're not too much on that. You'll probably get much closer to 7-2. Let's put that away. So there you have it. How they see this race is going to pan out. All right, let's go into that 10th race, and then we'll check out what I have for my pick 5, and let's dig into it because we got to keep going. A lot of horses to cover. Race 10. Here we go. The 1. The 1 last time, it's got some speed. They're going 6.5 furlongs again. Another 6.5 furlongs. This is for the boys. The other one was for the girls. This horse has got the speed to go out there, do some damage. But the thing is, the rail does have Jose. Gotta love that part. That's a huge, huge plus. 20-1, another big plus. But going 6.5. Last time went 6. Time before that went. See, it doesn't want that distance. Mile 16th, mile and 16th. So take it for what you think it's worth. But I personally think at best this horse could do is on the bottom side of your exotics. Horse shipping into track wins at multiple circuits. Horse won last time as the favorite, which is another key success rate. But this is a different track, different beast. The number 2, another horse that's going to have some speed. Kind of always coughs it up at the end most of the time. So I don't know if this horse could get that 6.5 furlongs. When he did run 6.5, really coughed it up. Of course, that was a maiden, but still coughed it up. You got Tyler Gaffleon. You got to like that part. Really do. 6-1, I don't, because the way this horse runs all the time. So for me, pass. Overall, I have to take a major pass. The 3, this one's going to come from behind a little bit. This one's sit. I think they say an early speed. I don't see this horse having that kind of speed, but I think this horse could sit very close and keep up with everybody. Ben Curtis is riding this horse. You gotta like that. Look, of course, they've only ran 3 times together, him and the trainer, 33%, so they've won one of those 3. I think this horse will sit close at the pace, probably second or third, and try to kick it in at one time. For me, bottom side of my exotics, if anything. But right now, I'm thinking I'm going to pass. The 4, Marchese, Javier, Castellano. Look, he's been a little on the cold side of the jawcast, but he's starting to pick it up a little bit now, so he's fine. He's going to be fine. This horse is cutting back in distance. Every time, look at all these mile races. Can he close in time is more the question. Well, this horse is going to be flying. So I think this horse can sit close enough, but I don't think he has to. I think he could come from behind. Definitely on the bottom side of my exotics for me. Let's see what the angle says. Third race I have to look at. We'll look at third race after a layoff, looking for improvement. Yeah, I definitely would be too, but he's gonna be right there knocking on the door. The 5. Here's another one I think is going to be sitting so close to the pace and might have something left, because you look at these last 2 times at a mile, set right there, ran a really nice race. One of them was a 110 and change. Joe Rosario's jumping back on the board when he won from the maiden. He's reunited with this horse. This is a very dangerous horse, very, very dangerous. Probably one of the 3 or 4 horses that I think could win this race. So definitely a major play. Talking about major play, here's another one. I think this is another major player, because this horse sits right there at a mile 70, mile 16. When it cut back to 5.5, was probably too short. It was too much of a short, too much of a cutback. Got Franco aboard. Franco's won on this horse in a small stakes going a mile. He's going to have this horse sitting in a perfect spot. He doesn't have to have the lead. I think he'd be right there. He'll be kicking it in. Major, major player. Another one of the top 3 or top 4 horses that I think is a major player in this race. And talk about another one that's a major player. Here's this horse, this speed horse. This one's going to be out winging. Irad's going to be bored, of course, winging it. Blinkers come off of this horse. So they're trying to get this horse to relax just a little bit. Usually that's what you're trying to do when you take blinkers off. You're trying to relax them a little bit. Sometimes they get a little too relaxed. Sometimes they get spooked, but they had the blinkers all this time. George Weaver definitely knows what he's doing. He's taking off the blinkers, going in a big $2 million race like this. Come on. He's doing it because he wants to try to get the best out of this horse. If this horse relaxes, major, major player. This is another one of the top 4 horses, I believe, that can win this race. And the last of the top 4 horses I believe that could win this race is this one's, the 8. This horse will really come from behind a little bit more than probably normal. This horse will be flying at the end. Junior is going to be riding for Mott. They have this horse ready to rock and roll. Love the breeding on this horse. There's a lot of great things to say about this horse. So I think this horse will be flying. He's one of the 4 that I think is an excellent, excellent shot of winning this race. I wish I picked him to win, but I have to pick someone to win, right? But I have to say there's 4 horses, in my opinion, that are really top-notch in this race. The 9, a speed horse that is cutting back. And I have to admit that's a really great angle, of course. Pratt's riding this horse. That's another plus. This horse will be out there winging it, I believe, at least one of them. The question is, will we have enough? Because we got a lot of horses that would like sit. They would like to sit a little bit back more than this one and take advantage of that last uphill battle. I'm going to say more on the bottom side of exotics, if anything. The 10. This horse is kind of always, right there, kind of always right there. Doesn't do a heck of a lot. Steve puts his son Keith on it. I just don't see this horse doing much damage, in my opinion. You have to take chances when it's $2 million races, and this horse might have some kind of talent. Steve sees it in him, but for me, I'm taking a pass. The 11. Another horse that's kind of a pace type of horse. Will be sitting right there. Can this horse kick it in enough? I haven't seen it really too much, except for that 1 5 furlong race. You watch this one on the video. Does kick it in pretty good, but everyone else, he kind of just hangs a little bit. Definitely hangs. He's a hanger. So for me, I'm taking a pass. The 12. This horse is going to have to do a lot more work. This one will be flying late. The question is, will he get up in time? So he's got hot riding Johnny Velasquez, so that might be a great plus. But I just don't see him getting up in time. The 13 also eligible. Another speed horse that's cutting back. Pete Miller, Farad. They team up. Pete Miller's from California, people, if you don't know about him. A very good top trainer there, usually wins the meet at Del Mar, sometimes Santa Anita. Between him and Baffert usually are the top two most of the time that battle out for that trainer's meet. But this trainer, since this one out here, I just don't know if this horse could win at this track doing this. The best thing this horse could do, if he does draw in, he's going to have to sit very close to the pace and make one big run. The 14, another horse that could sit next to the pace, but he's going to have to show a little bit more than he has been. So for that, I'm going to say no go. For me, I'm taking a major pass. The 15, horse been closing every time at 5.5. So it doesn't tell me that this horse will be closing at 6.5. But the thing is 6.5 too much? Because at 7 furlongs, he never did show anything at all. But of course, those were on dirt, not turf. So you got to put that in perspective. But for me, I am going to take a pass. That's for the reasons that I think it might be just a little bit too much, but that's what I see it. And the 16, this horse ran on August the 30th at Kentucky Downs, ran second. Very impressive, 109. If this horse gets in, could be dangerous. I'm not too worried about the short between races. Hey, I've seen people bring back horses at 5 days and they win. Most of the time it's 9, 8. This one's going to be what, 7? So 8. So this horse will, if this horse draws in, if he draws in, look out. Just pay attention, okay? You might want to throw that in there, but right now, I'm going to say he's not going to draw in, but definitely a player. Okay, so let's check out and see what Racelands has for us, how they see this race panning out. A lot of horses up there. Look at that, 5, 7, 11, 15, and literally right there, 1, 2, 4, 12. Okay? That says a lot. A lot. Midway through the stretch, through the race, 15, 7. I kind of see that. I mean, I think the 15 will be right there. I think the 7's going to be right there. But the 5, 6, and 8 also, I think they'll be there. And look where they have them back here. So, I don't know. We'll see. They have the 4 winning this race at 20, basically 22%, the 2 at 13, the 7 at 13, 11 at 8, and the 15 at 7. Well, I mean, did I have any of those horses? Yeah, I have the 7. My horses are 8, 6, 5, 7. And not necessarily in that order, but I mean, that's how I picked them, come in that order. But like I said, there's some horses in here that could do some damage. The 4 should be 7-2, 6-1. I don't know. I think it's going to be closer to 6-1. Yeah, the 7 will probably be the favorite in this race. Maybe the 6 co-favorite. 7 and 6 would be the favorite, co-favorite, in my opinion. So whatever that would be. Now, let's go into see how I'm predicting this race. Remember, one more time, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't done that already, and hit the alert buttons. You'll get every one of our shows, especially my shows, but you get John's, Gio's, Jim, everybody's shows. And, we'll hit the next tracks that are right after here, Kentucky Downs. They're going to go all over the place, it looks like. So, and remember, Breeders' Cup's coming, so you want to stay tuned on everything. I got some horses that I'm following right now that I believe is going to win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I think it's going to win. I think the horse is going to win it, and the horse is running on Sunday at Del Mar. Um, anyway, remember, if you want any, shoot me an email if you want my whole card for Saturday. If you're interested in owning the horses and pin hooking, shoot me an email. Or if you have just any basic questions about anything. And one other thing, I'm going to be at the Keeneland yearling sale next Friday, the 12th, and Saturday, the 13th. I'll be there. So if you're going to be down there, shoot me an email and I'll tell you where I'm going to be. I'll meet you out there. We'll talk horses. We'll look at some things if you need to. Or I'll show you some things that you need to learn maybe. That's what I'm going to be doing out there. I've got a couple of people out there. We're going to do a little schooling and figuring out some things on what they are going to should be looking for at horses. Okay. Anyway, let's go and see what I'm going to play on my pick 5. And here we go. Remember, it starts in race 8. There's a couple of pick 5s here. And you know what? I like the middle pick 5. I like the early pick 5. I like all the pick 5s. So I'm in a dilemma. Do I try to play all the pick 5s or not? So what I might do is I might play the early pick 5 and then maybe play the middle pick 4 or 3 and then play the late pick 5. This is the late pick 5. Okay. So it starts in race number 8, and I like 1, 3, 10, 13. I'm going to do exactly 1 over the 3 and 10. But in my pick 5, I'm going 5 deep here. I'm going to go 1, 3, 10, 13, 7. In leg number 2, which is race number 9, I'm going 2 deep there. The 3 and the 9. That's it. We got to start making a stand somewhere to keep this ticket at 200 or less. Leg number 3, which is race number 10, we're going to go 4 deep. I'm going to go 8, 6, 5, 7. And then leg number 4, which is race 11. I'm going to go 5 deep. I'm going to go 10, 6, 11, 8, 7. And then that last race, I know I'm crazy. It's a maiden. I'm going for it. I'm doing 2 deep. The 3 and the 2. So with that being said, let's break down those races. Race 9, 3, 9, 4, 10. I like the exact 3 over the 9. Race 10, I like 8, 6, 5, 7. I'm going to do exact box 8, 6, 5. Remember I said I like 4 horses in there. I'm going to toss out the lower odd one, the 7, and I'm boxing these 3. Race 11, I'm going to go 10, 6, 11, 8. I'm doing a try with the 10, 6, with the 10, 6, 11, 8, 7 with the all. The 12th race, I'm going 3, 2, 4, 8. I'm going to do exact box 3, 2. Yes, it's a maiden. I'm crazy, but that's the way it goes, right? So with that all being said, there we have it. I want everyone to go out there and let's get this Kentucky Downs. We got to finish off strong here. We've got some nice payoffs going on out there. Got to like that. So let's go out there and get those winners, huh? So until then, I'm going to see ya.
Here comes journalism, here comes sovereignty, and they square off, heading to the final front. Sovereignty wins the Derby!
You're watching Past the Wire TV. Hit that like button and subscribe to Past the Wire TV. Nobody does it better.
Sure, bad coffee.
Are they talking about us? Shh. Wait. Are they talking about us? I think I heard Past the Wire. Past the Wire TV. They are talking about us. Often imitated, never duplicated. We are everywhere.
Seriously? If you're betting horses and not watching these shows, you gotta be freaking crazy. Capiche?
You're watching Past the Wire TV.
Knowledge. It isn't free. You gotta pay attention.
ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the winner's circle for a very special presentation. Representatives from Handicapping for Horses, along with professional handicapper Jonathan Stetton, are proud to support the work of the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance and Old Friends. Accepting the check for the inaugural Handicapping for Horses event this past summer at Saratoga are representatives from the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance and Old Friends. Gulfstream Park welcomes Michael Blowen, Jonathan Stetton, Kelly Stovey, Jim Rhodes here this afternoon. Since 2012, the TAA has awarded more than $17.2 million to accredited organizations. Handicapping for Horses looks to make their Saratoga Springs event larger and raise money for Thoroughbreds Aftercare year after year. Once again, thank you to Handicapping for Horses, Jonathan Stetton, and welcome to Old Friends and our friends at the TAA. The Rainbow Six and race number 5 up next.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby.
You're watching Past the Wire TV, the biggest races at the best tracks. From the Kentucky Derby to the Breeders' Cup, the best horse racing coverage is right here on Past the Wire TV.
Dynasty in motion, reshaping the sport's greatest tradition, channeling the legends of his line and surpassing them. 4 of the last 6 Derby winners carry his genes. A Golden Son, a Horse of the Year. Another chapter written beneath those iconic spires. Derby dreams fulfilled for the titans of our industry. From authentic to sovereignty, a legacy both real and supreme. Into
Pace Points is a sophisticated algorithm developed to help handicappers accurately recognize key aspects of a race. Specifically, who will be running fast early and who will be closing fast late. Pace makes the race, and now you can have even complicated pace scenarios projected accurately right at your fingertips. What sharp player wanting every edge wouldn't want this? Exactly, none. Although the algorithm based on fractional times and incorporating other key factors is complex, the information is presented in both an easy-to-read and understand format. Try Pace Points and elevate your game and chance of success to a state-of-the-art at the highest level. You can find Pace Points at Past the Wire.
Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING. Get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets.
Often imitated, never duplicated. If you ain't smooth, you ain't never gonna be a smooth operator.
Here comes journalism, here comes sovereignty, and they square off, heading to the final front. Sovereignty wins the Derby!
You're watching Past the Wire TV. Hit that like button and subscribe to Past the Wire TV. Nobody does it better.
Are they talking about us? Shh, wait. Are they talking about us? I think I heard Past the Wire. Past the Wire TV. They are talking about us. Often imitated, never duplicated. We are everywhere. Nobody does it better.